this time is whatever I want it to me. If this were memories in bed, I'm gonna like what I see. And everything I ever took for
Beth Orton is an English musician, singer, and songwriter, particularly known for the Folktronica genre. She started her career in 1993 and she's still going. She's released 8 studio albums, although the first one of those was released in limited numbers in Japan only and was quite a different style. She is known for her collaborations with electronic musicians like William Orbit and the Chemical Brothers. Hi, my name's Dan, and this is a review of the album Central Reservation by Beth Orton, released in 1999. It was her second studio album, and it was her follow-up to her breakthrough album, which was Trailer Park, which I have reviewed before on this channel, but it's my first time listening to this album. So I would describe this musically as being mostly kind of folk pop, folk rock in a singer-songwritery way. So Wikipedia and other people have claimed that this is Folktronica, which is a blend between folk and electronica stuff. And my memory of her previous album, Trailer Park, is that that was very much true for that album. For this album, I am less convinced by that label, and I think that the label has come through because of her previous album. So I would say that this is mostly folk, except for one track, which is the Stars All See to Weep, which is an interesting name for a track. Let me just double check that. Stars All Seem to Weep. I've written it down wrong. Sorry about that. Stars All Seem to Weep, which is definitely more electronic in it. But it's a combination of folk instrumentation with, let's say, subtle electronic elements, except for in that track. And it features guest musicians, apparently, including members of Radiohead and Fortet. So musically, it's kind of what you'd expect from how I've described it. It's kind of down a bit in melancholy, but not full on depressing. It's got this kind of slightly mellow, but not hugely relaxed, because it's a bit emotional feel to it. And this is emphasized by her voice. She's got quite a breathy vocal style, slightly what I think of as curls. I find it really hard to describe voices, and probably the best thing you can do is just listen to the clips that I put start and the end. But I think that this is the sound that you can get if I say ah, it comes out like ah, but if I pull my tongue back a bit, it goes ah, ah, and it becomes a little bit more what I think of as curled. It's not nasal, but it's kind of like that. And that voice is a bit like that, and it's a bit mumbled at times as well. Again, that kind of gives adds to this kind of somewhat down emotional stuff to it. So emotionally vulnerable, but it's got strength. Is nice, but melancholy. So the songs are about personal relationships and emotional introspection. It feels like quite an introspective album. You've got themes of loss, love, self-discovery, that sort of stuff, and urban life. But so apparently this album established Beth Orton as a major voice in alternative folk. I kind of felt that it was pleasant, but it wasn't. I don't feel like it was a huge impact on me of any kind. I also feel like we were 1999, and it feels like it slots into the zeitgeist of the time. There were several other acts around. I'm not going to be able to kind of rattle off a whole load who had a similar thing, and partly I think this is because one of the processes of music in the 90s was to move away from the glitz and glamour of the 80s and the mega production. Now, some music in the 90s went even more produced, so pop became very, getting very kind of electro pop, and people like Kylie Minogue and stuff, pushing some really incredible dance pop albums. But then there was a reaction against that towards more acoustic instruments, or more played instruments rather than programmed instruments, and this was part of that. So this kind of indie folk scene was definitely a thing, and I want to mention people like Katie Melua and Katie Tunstall as being part of this thing. And this is by no means, it kind of feels like it fits in with that kind of feel of the time. Um, that track, Stars All Seem to Weep, also quite strongly reminded me of Dido, of the track which is Thank You for Giving Me the Best Day of My Life. It kind of had a similar feel to it. So yeah, overall, melancholy, introspective singer-songwriter stuff. I quite enjoyed it, but I didn't feel a huge draw towards it as being an amazing album. Just a fairly good album, I thought. Well, that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you think, so please really let me know by leaving me a comment. That's it from me for now.